this evening. The time is now 7:59 p.m. Central, 8:59 p.m. Eastern, and you have a live look at an ongoing massive winter storm currently impacting portions of New England. If we take a look at the winter weather radar right now across sections of upstate New York, portions of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and even sections of southern Vermont and New Hampshire, you can see that we've got ourselves a massive winter storm impacting some of these regions with up to a foot of snow in the highest elevations, significant freezing rain accumulations, and even some significant damaging winds. Now, this has been a problem all throughout the Ohio Valley here. We were talking about snow and freezing rain from portions of Illinois and Missouri, all the way through Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, even sections of northern West Virginia, and now we're dealing with this in sections of northern New England here. We can see we've got these massive bands of snow here. Again, these are the kind of snow bands that end up producing those extremely high rates, like 1 inch per hour. So, since this is a not super fast-moving system, these snow totals are really going to be able to rack up quite a significant amount here, especially across sections of the higher elevations of northern New England. If we take a look at the precipitation type forecast on the HRRR model right here, we can see that this is what we're dealing with currently right now at 8 p.m. All right, again, we've got this massive band of snow here impacting most of upstate New York, sections of Long Island, all the way back through areas like western Connecticut, western Massachusetts, and southern Vermont. In between that snow and our thunderstorms down into portions of West Virginia and Kentucky, which we'll touch on here in a second, we've got ourselves a big band of freezing rain and sleet that has developed. Now, this is going to be the kind of band of sleet that has that potential to create extremely hazardous travel conditions in an area that just dealt with something like this a couple days ago. And Alan with the $20 donation. You guys are insane. Okay, hold on. So, before we really get into weather coverage here, we've got so many thank yous to throw out. We had Gina becoming a Slight Risk member, so W Gina. We had William with the $20 donation, greatly appreciated. And now we've got Alan with the $20 donation. So, let's get a W, Alan, William, and Gina all down below in the chat. You guys are going to be the first people on the brand new donation board here. We've got ourselves a new little layout. Let's go ahead and throw up Alan and William's $20 donations. We'll throw that in the number one spot. Again, thank you guys so much. Donating is completely optional, but I do really greatly appreciate those folks that do go above and beyond and decide to click that donate button. So, again, thank you very much to you guys. Again, thank you for everybody else that's even just tuning in and watching, though. Obviously, that helps out just as much, just in different ways. But again, I really do appreciate that generosity. That is just crazy support that you guys have been showing the channel here over the past several months. So I really do appreciate it. And again, I hope that you guys have been satisfied with this content lately. Again, the past few days, we've kind of been slacking a little bit. I've kind of had a little bit of a burnout, I guess you could say, but I'm starting to get back into the swing of things here. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm pretty hyped for that. We got Summit coming up in just a few days here, so we've got ourselves a big few days ahead of us for the weather, not only in terms of things just happening around the weather, but also things happening with the weather. Again, we've got ourselves a massive winter storm right now impacting sections of northern New England. We've got ourselves a big-time freezing rain event in an area that just had something similar to it the other day, if not just yesterday. Again, we've got ice storm warnings up for sections of southwestern Pennsylvania, areas of far western Maryland here. These are the areas where we think we're going to have the greatest potential for significant ice accumulations, but remember, anywhere where that band of ice touches could end up becoming extremely hazardous for travel conditions. So, again, everybody out here that is impacted by this system, make sure to be on the lookout, because while snow could be dangerous, sure, if it accumulates enough, any amount of freezing rain on the roads is extremely dangerous, especially whenever it's night out and you can't really see what's going on, guys. I mean, this is a pretty serious situation here. So again, if you do know anybody out here in the Mid-Atlantic region or the Northeast, make sure to send them this stream, let them know what's going on. Let me go ahead and share this stream out here with as many people as possible. Again, we had this stream scheduled for 7 p.m. originally, but unfortunately some delays did end up happening, but we're here now, and that is all that matters. We've got ourselves a new stream layout. What do you guys think? I spent quite a bit of time making this here today. Not quite a bit of time, realistically, like 15 minutes, but I think it looks pretty cool. I think it's a bit of an upgrade from our old one. Right now, in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, we've got Storm Chaser, PA Storm Trackers. Right now, they are on the ground chasing this winter storm here in sections of Pennsylvania. Right now, I believe they're up in the northern portion of the state. So let me go ahead and make a community post about this out here. Live now, covering significant winter storm. Again, I encourage you guys to share this stream with as many people as you can, because there are a lot of people that don't know that this is going on at all. They think, they see these headlines saying big-time snowstorm coming soon. They think that it's a couple days old, because they just had something exactly similar to this just a couple days earlier, right? But this is a whole nother system here that we are dealing with. Speaking of which, yes, I was not live for the EF2 Tennessee tornado that we ended up having that did impact the town of Deer Lodge. It did end up, unfortunately, causing two fatalities. We had several other strong tornadoes that day, as well as a full-blown tornado outbreak. Again, I've been feeling a little bit of a burnout recently in terms of weather coverage, but we are back in full swing. So again, I'm very sorry about that. That's not typically in my nature to just miss a big event like that. So again, sorry about that, but I can promise you guys that within the next several events, we will not have any problems like that again. That is probably the first time that we've ever really skipped an event of that size where I haven't had something else major going on, right? So anyway, what's going on, everybody? Again, thank you all for the crazy support already. Again, before we even started this stream, we already had gotten $45 in donations. That is absolutely insane. I mean, that is just crazy. So again, thank you guys so much. That is unbelievable. I really do appreciate the fair welcome back here. Again, we've got these little lines going outside my face cam and the PA Storm Tracker's camera there. So let me know what you guys think of those. I was thinking maybe we change that from red to a different color, maybe like orange, since this is the severe thunderstorm warning layout, but for right now, we're just going to stick with the red since we already have that up, and I don't really want to change that midstream. So, yes, we've got ourselves a big-time winter storm impacting sections of New England. I see your question about Walpole, Massachusetts there, and I can see you as well, Max Out Weather. We'll go and get to some questions here in just a second, but I do want to quickly mention, we have had a little bit of a mini severe weather event across sections of the Ohio River Valley today, but it's honestly very interesting. We have not had any severe thunderstorm warnings. We've not had any tornado warnings, but a lot of these storms have managed to develop not significant rotation, but at times rotation that looked to be slightly concerning for a little bit. And right now we do have ourselves a little bit of a line of storms moving through sections of eastern Kentucky that could have that potential to produce damaging winds up to 50 miles per hour, as well as some pea-sized hail. So soon that's going to be moving through areas like London, Kentucky, areas near the Prestonburg area, Jackson, West Liberty, all the way down towards Corbin, really everywhere along the Highway 118 corridor here can expect these storms to arrive within the next 30 minutes or so. They're moving off to the east relatively quickly here. We've got these moving off to the east-southeast at about 25 to, say, 40 miles per hour, depending on what part of the storm you're looking at here. But again, damaging winds is going to be the main concern with this, as well as some moderate rainfall, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into this. So, yeah, a full-blown tornado outbreak is a severe weather event where we have 6 or more tornadoes within a 12-hour period. We did end up having 7 tornadoes with this event, so our event from the other day, that is. So we did technically have a very small-scale tornado outbreak, but again, it is the only tornado outbreak that we've had thus far this year that has actually been deadly. So, again, very unfortunate to see a mother and a child did end up, unfortunately, passing away during that horrific tornado. Again, the debris signature was absolutely crazy. The velocity couplet, considering how far away we were from the radar, the fact that it was so noticeable was a big concern. Again, that is probably the strongest tornado that we've had touch down in the United States in a good couple of months. So again, thoughts and prayers go out to those impacted, obviously, by that severe weather event, whether you got hit by the strong tornado, whether you were a part of the massive flooding event that we had in West Virginia, or if you just got hit by some thunderstorms in general. Again, I really do hope that you guys are doing okay out there and you're able to rebuild. We also had a pretty significant tornado on the north side of Cookeville, Tennessee. We had a tornado go through sections of central Kentucky that was a high-end EF1 tornado. We also had a tornado that we were live for near the Knoxville, Tennessee area. Again, we had a big-time severe weather outbreak considering it was February across sections of Kentucky and Tennessee. Again, you don't normally see something like that in February unless it is really, I mean, just in areas that are absolutely hugging the Gulf Coast, and this is certainly not what that was. I mean, sure, you could call this a deep south severe weather outbreak if you wanted to, but we really don't see severe weather outbreaks or tornado outbreaks, especially in February, unless it is down in Dixie Alley, and that is not what ended up happening this time around. So again, very interesting stuff. We were thinking that maybe we wouldn't have enough capes stretching into sections of Tennessee and Kentucky to produce a widespread severe weather outbreak, but unfortunately the values were just enough, and the wind shear was very high in some areas, so that is what ended up causing that tornado outbreak there across sections of the Tennessee River Valley, right? So So we got Mr. Storm in the chat saying he's got 1.5 inches of snow out there in Long Island. Yeah, this is going to be a big-time system here for some of these areas that are in southern New England as well. Again, for the most part, we're going to be talking about areas in the higher elevations getting the most significant snow totals, but the big problem as well is going to be those snow totals near areas like New York City, all right? We've got significant travel impacts ongoing right now in the New York City area. In fact, they ended up declaring a state of emergency, which I thought was very interesting, but a good half foot of snow, I guess, will do that in New York City nowadays. That's kind of interesting to me, but again, just make sure that you're traveling safe out there. The more dangerous areas for travel will be further off to the south, though, areas like New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, sections of West Virginia, and Maryland. All in all, it's going to be a pretty big event in several different ways, so again, please do make sure that you're staying safe out here, and you know what the forecast is for your area at all times during this event, because this is one of those winter storms that is just a classic, we're talking La Nina pattern here. We haven't seen a lot of winter storms like this thus far in this winter, which has been somewhat of a surprise considering we are in a weak La Nina. We've been talking about winter storms instead down in the Gulf Coast, which is not something that rarely happens. I mean, it doesn't really happen at all to that magnitude, but seeing something like this up here in northern New England usually would be somewhat common. It's like, okay, this is happening again, but this winter we haven't seen a whole lot of them. So anyway, what's going on, everybody? Again, good to see everybody in the chat. We've got A and B saying I've got about 2 inches of snow in upstate New York. I can guarantee you that number is going to rise no matter where you're at in upstate New York. Again, we've got ourselves a massive band of snow over the entirety of New York State right now. Everywhere from Buffalo, New York, going all the way back over to New York City. We've got snow falling at heavy rates across sections of the state here. Not even sections of the state, but the entire state. So, again, everybody out here, make sure that you are staying safe. Again, if you have any friends or family out here, make sure to send them this stream because we are going to be covering this here for a while. Again, I'm sorry I could not get here earlier. I have been quite busy today. Again, it is my birthday tomorrow, so I was kind of out celebrating a little bit. I was also very busy this morning with some other stuff as well, so sorry about that. Yeah, we are slowly but surely coming in on 3.5 thousand subscribers, but the more near-term goal is going to be 3,300 subscribers. We are just 20 subscribers away from hitting that goal, so if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. If you have an alt account or anything, that would help out a lot. We do severe weather, winter storm, and hurricane coverage every single day on this channel for the areas that need it, so again, make sure to click that subscribe button with notifications on if you want an accurate, reliable weather source for major events like the one that we have ongoing just tonight here. So again, let's kind of focus in on our line of storms here in Kentucky, because this region actually is going to be quite interesting over the next several minutes, because we're not entirely out of ingredients for these storms to continue further off to the east. All right, these have been going for a long time now, and again, while we haven't seen any severe thunderstorm warnings out of them, we have had a lot of these special weather statements. These are basically a step below a severe thunderstorm warning for when a storm is very strong, but it's not quite severe level limits. For a severe thunderstorm warning to be triggered, you need to have wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail of quarter size or greater, and none of these storms have had that threat confirmed with them while they were still ongoing today, but we have had several storms get close to it, right? So we do have quite a bit of wind shear out here in this environment. If we take a look at the HRRR model and we take things over to the shear in the first kilometer of the atmosphere, the bulk shear that is, we can see that we do have a good 40 knots of wind shear, and even 50 knots of wind shear across sections of eastern Kentucky and West Virginia, which is really what's keeping these storms alive in general. If we take a look at the Cape values, we can see they're really nothing crazy. I mean, hardly any Cape at all out here in this environment. I mean, we are talking literally peaking at 100 joules per kilogram, which if you don't know is absolutely nothing. Usually you need about 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of Cape to get storms really firing and producing tornadoes and stuff like that, except in situations like this where we do have that extra wind shear, so we can still see some of that gusty wind activity there across sections of Appalachian. Now, we do have a little bit more Cape down here in sections of Dixie Alley, but in Dixie Alley, and this is the same exact thing that happened with our event the other day, we don't have nearly enough wind shear to start producing storms. Again, the two main ingredients that you need for severe weather to be created are Cape and wind shear, alright? We have a lot of that good old Cape down here in sections of Dixie Alley, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, but we don't have any wind shear. And then here in areas like the Ohio Valley, sure, we've got a lot of that wind shear, but we don't have any of that CAPE. By the way, CAPE stands for Convective Available Potential Energy, basically storm juice, to put it into layman's terms. It's what really fuels the storms, and typically you get CAPE by having, high dew points in the area, and several other things as well, just having good moisture in general. A lot of ingredients go into creating severe weather, but again, CAPE and wind shear are the two main ones. So if you've only got one of those two things, it's not likely that you're going to see a big-time severe weather outbreak, and that's exactly what's happening today. We have a big lack of CAPE up here in the sections of eastern Appalachia. There are more favorable embedded supercells in south-central Tennessee. That's mainly where we're talking, and I have seen those, but we don't really have a lot of wind shear down here. We do have some gusty winds likely with this line of storms as it continues to push off to the south, and we do have a few areas of rotation developing. The main one right now being just on the southeast side of Lewisburg, Tennessee. We've also got one just north of Cornersville, Tennessee, one near Fairfield, Tennessee, and we have had a lot of these today, and I have seen these ongoing, but we have not really had anything close to producing a tornado quite yet. We did have some significant rotation move through the Shelbyville, Tennessee area just earlier, and we do have a cyclone poured over that area, so I'm wondering if we didn't capture something, but we did not have a correlation coefficient drop, which is what is indicative of an ongoing tornado, because usually what will happen is we'll see that tornado pick up some debris, throw it a few thousand feet into the atmosphere, and it reflects onto the radar with like a big blue-greenish blob, and we don't have any of that, at least overlining with where our velocity couplets and stuff like that are. So all those blue blobs that you're seeing on the correlation coefficient are just things like dead air pockets, just contamination in general, and other things, right? It's not actually debris being picked up by a tornado or anything like that, but it is certainly possible that we do see one of these rotations spin up a little further and maybe produce like a landspout or something, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Again, mainly watching areas like Shelbyville, Lewisburg, stuff like that right about now. What's going on, Mr. Twister? Thank you for the happy early birthday wish. Again, my birthday is tomorrow, so I'm very hyped about that. We may have a live stream tomorrow. I'm not too sure, though. The only thing that we'd really have to watch tomorrow is the remnants of the winter storm ongoing in New England, and it doesn't look like that's going to be anything too crazy by tomorrow. Speaking of which, the future track for this winter storm system here, if we take a look at the HRRR on the 0Z run on the precipitation type forecast, we can see that this is going to continue over sections of the Northeast and New England over the next several hours. By 2 a.m., we could be dealing with a big-time ice threat across sections of southern New England, areas that just got hit with that snow. So this is really going to make driving conditions quite difficult out here whenever you start to see that freezing rainfall on top of that very nasty stuff. And then we're going to start dealing with that snow into more sections of northern New England, again, areas like Boston, Massachusetts, maybe still seeing snow, Concord, New Hampshire, Portland, Augusta, Maine. And then that'll kind of continue to push off to the east-northeast. Now, again, we will have this system lingering a little bit in sections of northern New England very early tomorrow morning, but by the lunchtime hour, that is completely out of there, and we could actually be dealing with a few more thunderstorms down into sections of Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, although I do believe as of right now, the Storm Prediction Center has not issued any sort of thunderstorm risk for tomorrow, not even a general thunderstorm risk, right? So, not going to be anything too crazy, obviously. So, 2-inch rates about to slam New York City and Long Island. That is very significant, because what he means there whenever he says that is 2 inches per hour, and this system, again, is not incredibly quick moving, so that is going to be there for several hours straight, so that's definitely going to end up packing up those snow totals there, especially in areas like New York City, areas just off to the north of there, especially, though, areas, I mean, just in southern New York and general areas in Connecticut. Again, we've got winter storm warnings up for pretty much the entirety of northern and central New England, areas of upstate New York, so we've got ourselves quite the event to watch. Again, a lot of these mentioned the threat for up to 10 inches of snow in the higher elevations, maybe up to 11 inches of snow, but for the most part, if you are at surface level, you can expect a good 6 to 7 inches of snow from this system here. Again, trends have been changing, but that's kind of the most recent guidance, but it does look like it could be even a little bit more significant than originally expected, just based off of how the current radar is looking. So we got William saying, I would suggest Davis should keep his powder dry and save his available time to cover more major inbound events over the next 10 days. Willimantic, Connecticut in-laws are there. Let's check out the good old Willimantic area. I've never heard of that town name before, but it sounds just lovely. So let's go ahead and pull it up. So they're under a winter storm warning, right, and the system right now is kind of just reaching that area with some bands of heavy snow. By the time everything is said and done, there is really quite a good chance that we could end up seeing, 5 to 9 inches of snow in this area, according to our winter storm warning. The HRRR model, let's kind of see what it wants you to get. I'd imagine it's somewhere kind of, again, in that kind of half a foot to maybe upwards of just under a foot of snow range, so this is kind of what it's showing for that that region there. Again, it's a little bit lower than that. It's a good few inches of snow, but remember, that is on top of what's already fallen there, which is a few inches of snow on the ground likely already, as that system has been in there for a little bit. That's what I mean. You don't need to push yourself so much on subtle events. This is a large event, just saying for others. Your big day is tomorrow anyways. We don't need to ask for more. No spamming. Yeah, do please try to refrain from spamming, stuff like that. Again, please keep things family-friendly, on topic, and informative, as the little message there pinned in the chat does say. Again, feel free to ask any questions. Again, that is the whole reason that we are here right now, is to put your mind at ease and let you know that this is not going to be a, life or death situation for most of you guys. Again, really the only dangerous section of the country for this event is going to be in areas like the Mid-Atlantic region, maybe southern New England. Everywhere else is just going to get a deal with a big-time snow event, which, sure, I get that some people don't like snow, but overall, I mean, it's not anywhere nearly as bad as if you were to get, say, a quarter, even a half inch of freezing rain, like some of these areas down here in sections of West Virginia and Pennsylvania have ended up seeing multiple days in a row almost, so pretty crazy stuff. Relaying this to brother-in-law, and to quote him, weak sauce. I'm in north central Alabama, no worries here till we get into March. That's when things get juicy. Tornadic activity down here, yeah. Again, especially in 2025 with that weak La Nina pattern, it looks like Dixie Alley could be somewhat significant for their tornado season this year. Again, if you haven't already, make sure to check out our 2025 severe weather season long-term forecast. Thank you, Sam, for the $1 donation. Greatly appreciated. Let's get some W-Sams down there in the chat. Amazing stuff. Let's go ahead and throw you, sir, right onto the dono board. Sam with the $1 donation. Thank you very much. Again, donating is completely optional, but it does help me out a lot in knowing that this could be a potential career option for me in the future, so I do really appreciate those folks. They go above and beyond by donating. But again, if you can't donate, I completely understand. Just clicking the subscribe button also helps push this out to more people, the people that need this coverage, especially in areas like the Northeast. But again, thank you very much, Sam, for the $1 donation. Greatly appreciated. Also, think the plane should be decent in March. Yeah, I'd agree. And again, it does look like we could have a somewhat significant severe weather threat impacting sections of Dixie Alley kind of mid-February coming up pretty soon here. Based off of the latest trends from our long-term models, it looks like we could be dealing with some damaging winds, some hail, maybe even a few tornadoes. It's a little early to say, but along with that could come a big-time winter storm for sections of the Midwest as well. So we'll have to look out for that threat as well. But again, it's looking like it could get somewhat gnarly here for sections of Dixie Alley in terms of a severe weather threat, as we are going to have that cape potentially be in play, but quite a bit of wind shear too. Again, the jet stream is going to be dipping down really far to the south. Again, based on latest GFS trends, it looks like this could be a somewhat significant event, especially for areas like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, kind of talking that section of Dixie there down in the far deep south. Hey, we've got Tin with the $20 donation. Happy birthday from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Thank you very much. That is amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Tin E. Pearl. That is awesome. Again, I appreciate it. Yeah, my birthday is not until tomorrow, but doing most of the celebrating today. How do we get 3 names to fit on here at once? Alright, let's throw you on the dono board, though. That is awesome. Again, the support of this stream has been unbelievable, considering we've only been live for about 20 minutes, so thank you so much. Again, huge shout-outs to Alan, William, and Tin for the $20 donations. That is absolutely incredible. Again, that is crazy. Thank you so much. So again, we've got about 4 or 5 special weather statements here for our one line of storms. Again, we're mainly just going to be talking about that threat for gusty winds of 40 to maybe 50 miles an hour in localized region. You know, the kind of winds that maybe snap a tree branch or two, maybe cause some localized power outages, but really nothing crazy. You're not really going to notice any sort of lightning or thunder with these storms either. They're really not that powerful. We don't have, again, hardly any cape out here in this region, but we do have quite a bit of wind shear, which is really the only thing fueling this line of storms at this point that is able to produce gusty winds like this, right? You know, you're talking 40, 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Really, the only reason that that's happening is because we do have a decent amount of wind shear in the atmosphere that these storms are kind of sucking up as they move along further off to the east. Yeah, make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you've not already. We are only 20 subscribers away from 3,300. And at the end of the month, we are going to be doing 1 push-up for every 3 subscribers that we gain in February. So we do have a new special weather statement for Cornersville, Tennessee now for our line of storms here. Again, we've got a little kink of rotation there. This is just mentioning that threat for wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. But again, we may have to watch out for some sort of brief landspout threat if that does start to poke out of there again. But for right now, just watch out for some gusty winds. Make sure you're moving indoors and things will be okay. Again, most people are going to be indoors already at this hour anyways. I'm not even having I guess I am having a birthday cake tomorrow, but, it will be, after lunch. It will probably not be gold, unfortunately. That'd be pretty cool, but again, the progression of this line is just crazy. I mean, that is not something you see in an environment that has 100 joules per kilogram of CAPE at the peak very often, if ever. And again, they're not particularly strong storms, but the fact that they're going at all is just crazy. Is the PA Storm Tracker stream working, by the way? Or is that broken? If you guys could let me know down below, that would help. Did they end stream, maybe? I think that may be what happened here. Because we're all caught up and everything. Yeah, I think they ended off their stream. We'll go back, say, an hour or so. Just to kind of show off what things are looking like right now. .7 inches and counting here on Long Island. That is pretty crazy considering your region there was only expected to end up seeing, maybe half a foot at a high end. Considering the fact that this event is just starting for you, I'd be pretty excited about 3.7 inches of snow. And again, I think that's probably only going to get better for you as the night goes on. So, again, get ready. Again, unfortunately, tomorrow it is going to be well above freezing at times, so that snow is probably going to melt relatively quickly, but enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, that is a pretty big deal to get over half a foot of snow, even in areas like southern New England. So I just realized PA Storm Trackers is on screen, and they ended, I believe. Congrats on getting the streamers. Yeah, they were nice enough to let us use their feeds for live streams as well as several other folks. So again, I really do greatly appreciate everybody that has this community. Is awesome. I've been trying to donate and give back recently to some of the folks that have been allowing us to use their feeds. Just people that have been awesome to me in this community in general and stuff like that. So again, greatly appreciate it. But again, right now we got PA Storm Trackers up there in their home territory, as you could guess by the name, chasing this winter storm. I did pop in there and said hello, left a little donation earlier today, because again, they have helped me out so much in letting me use their feed. Really does give the stream an extra element to it, where we're able to see what's going on the surface level. I remember back in, say, April or May, whenever we were having the very significant tornado outbreaks, right, if we had, a major tornado on the ground, like, first thing that comes to mind is Robert Lee, Texas. There were so many unbelievable views of that tornado, and it was massive, but unfortunately, I couldn't show that on the stream due to copyright reasons, but hopefully, now that we do have access to a few Chasers feeds due to their incredible generosity, we may cut down on that issue a little bit, because again, it really does help to have another level of eyes down at the surface level. So again, I greatly appreciate everybody that has allowed me to use their feed. It's awesome stuff. So we did just get a new special weather statement for part of our line in Tennessee here for the Pulaski area as well. This is likely for wind gusts, up to 40 miles an hour there. Again, some broad rotation off to the west of Good Spring, but for the most part, it's nothing crazy. And my stream just crashed on my end, so that's fun. I think my Wi-Fi may have cut out. Let's hope not, because that means that our stream is broken. Let's see. Somebody let me know if we're still live or not, because I don't know what's happening. Alright, I think we're good. We're still receiving chat messages, so I think we should be fine. I don't know what happened. I think my Wi-Fi cut out for a few seconds. We have gotten a new special weather statement out ahead of our line of storms here for areas like Corbin and Jackson, Kentucky. We're watching out for that threat of 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts to continue further off to the southeast here as this line of storms continues due to the high levels of wind shear out here in sections of Appalachia. We now have a special weather statement for Charleston, West Virginia as well. Part of this line actually may be producing some small hail actually further off to the west of Charleston there. If we take a look at this special weather statement, though, we can see that it does just mention that threat for wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, which is still pretty significant. That is enough to, again, down tree limbs, maybe cause a few localized power outages, stuff like that. So, again, make sure to be on the lookout there in downtown Charleston. You will be absolutely fine. Just make sure that you're moving indoors. We're good? Alright. I don't know if it cut out or not for a second, but may have just been on my end. But it looks like my Wi-Fi cut out for some reason. Alrighty. Yeah, I know about the town called Tornado, West Virginia. Kind of want to live there, low-key. Not be a very good spot for storm chasing, though, because it is in Appalachia. But part of the line in south-central Tennessee broke apart. May give one of the cells a chance to work with the little space that it has. Yeah, again, I don't know. Again, these storms have not really proven to me yet that they have that potential to produce a tornado or anything. We'd have some stronger rotation developing near Normandy, Tennessee, actually. This little baby supercell here's got a hook echo. It's got strong rotation and everything. We may actually end up seeing a brief landspout or something with that. So if you're in this area, make sure that you're on the lookout. That actually does look somewhat significant on the velocities. Again, let's see if we can bring that back up here. For some reason, it is being very slow. It's never great. Let's flip back over the velocities here. Yeah, I mean, again, where those red and green colors meet, that's where we have indicative rotation there. But the fact that those colors are a lot brighter, that also indicates higher gusts that are higher in lower levels of the atmosphere, if that makes sense. It's a little more complex than that, but just to kind of put into layman's terms. Again, we've got a little bit of rotation off to the west there near Pleasant Grove as well, but this little area near Normandy, Tennessee, it has kind of weakened a little bit there on the most recent scan, but it's a discrete supercell. It's got some decently strong velocities. It's got that hook echo to it. You can see a clear inflow. I mean, that is a pretty impressive supercell, honestly. Again, based on the environmental factors out here, that is something that is unbelievable to see. That's like saying an EF5, well, not going to say that. It's like seeing, say, a EF3 or an EF4 on a slight risk day with a 5% torr. It just does not happen very often. This is not something you usually see in an environment where you have little to no wind shear and not that much cape. These storms have really just kept chugging along, though. Actually, I'm going to get a picture of that. That is, that's bad. That is, like, again, a near textbook mini supercell. Again, I think if it continues to become detached from this line of storms here, it has a better chance at staying alive. And that is very interesting. It's riding down I-24. So again, areas down the line, areas like Belmont, Tullahoma, we may actually be looking out for some sort of brief landspout or at least a higher gust of wind in your area. So if you're out there, just make sure you're getting indoors. And again, don't panic. I mean, this is such an unbelievably low chance that this cell actually ends up producing a tornado or anything like that. But unfortunately, I don't think we can completely rule it out, which is pretty hilarious considering we are not even in a general thunderstorm risk at this point. This is tilt 2 on the velocities. Again, the fact that the winds are almost the same in the higher levels of the atmosphere as they are in the lower, down towards like surface level even, that is signs that we could have some sort of landspout or at least lowering trying to develop here with this storm. Which is, again, not something that I thought we'd be seeing tonight here. This is right over Normandy Lake. Again, this is going through downtown Normandy right now. Approaching Rutledge Falls and Lake Hills. Okay, we'll continue to watch this over the next little while here, because I do think that this does have the potential to stay somewhat interesting for a few more scans. It had my curiosity, but now it has my attention. Let's just say that much. Where did that meme even come from? Does anybody know? Does anybody even know what I'm talking about? That is an old meme. I mean, that is an old one. That is before my generation. That terminal also has rotation, so it is broadly rotating, likely despite slight contamination. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt to me that that is at least broadly rotating there, and again, several other kinks in the line there as well likely are. Let's check it out, though, on the terminal radar. Yep, you can see it there. Again, it is quite hard to see if you are not, again, too well versed in the world of radar. But where those green and red colors meet up, there is where we've got that lower level rotation starting to develop, and where we may end up potentially seeing something try to happen there over the next few scans. Again, it's not a discrete supercell. I think if this was a discrete supercell, this genuinely could produce a land spout or something, but it is a part of this line. I mean, it's not like this is fully discrete in any way, shape, or form, which is going to make it a lot harder for this thing to produce it, which, again, that newest velocity scan, taking it down even further. So, again, we've still got our line continuing through sections of eastern Kentucky right now with some gusty winds, 50 to 60 miles an hour at times. So, again, just make sure you're moving indoors. Everything's going to be all right. Again, these are not life-changing storms or anything like that. Nothing like what we had a couple days ago. Back over to our winter storm here. Again, there's not a lot to touch on other than heavy snow continuing over sections of New England right now, and that heavy ice as well across sections of the Mid-Atlantic region, so be careful. Again, waking up in the morning, you may not know it, but it is going to be very slippery out there, so be careful, extremely careful and cautious when driving, especially on the interstate. Because, again, even, 1/100th of an inch of ice is enough to cause some minor problems. So whenever you start talking about 1/10 of an inch of ice, even 1/4 of an inch of ice, and even upwards of 1/2 inch of ice, that is enough to really cause some significant damage up there. It is also enough to cause tens of thousands of power outages, just like what we saw the other day. So, again, yesterday was kind of a rest day for this area, but, again, the areas that got hit with severe weather yesterday are seeing more storms today. The areas that got hit with ice yesterday are seeing more ice today. And the areas that got hit with snow 2 days ago, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, are seeing more snow today. Which is pretty interesting. Again, this is a very consistent pattern here. GFS has been hinting at it for a while, and it is playing out very similar to what it was predicted to. And gate-to-gate shear with this was actually, I mean, it's funny taking gate-to-gate shear on something this week, but it was over 60 miles an hour, which is quite crazy considering we have virtually no cape out here. How much cape do we have out here? I'm curious. In the surface-based cape. Yeah, we've got 70 joules per kilogram. And it's not like wind shear is anything crazy. I mean, it's decent. It's 35, 40 knots, but that's not crazy. So, 3 ads in 5 minutes? Are you serious? Alright, we're going to turn that down then. It's been a minute since I've done ads on a stream, so usually I just forget to turn them on. But I forgot what setting I usually do, so sorry if the ads have been a little excessive. I have it on where you should only be seeing an ad, like, once every 12 minutes max. So I don't know why it's doing that. But let's change that really quick. So let me know if this is a little better. And if not, we can certainly turn it down again or even just turn ads off. It's not like I'm dying for ad revenue. See, it's annoying how some people are getting no ads and then other people are getting, 17 ads in 30 seconds. Like, I wish it was more balanced out. And I have a setting on that should make it like that, but it is not. At least based on what you guys are saying, so. Alright, that should help things a little bit. You're on Windows? Yeah, desktop devices usually do end up having a few more ads than, like, if you're on mobile or something. We do have a little bit of an uptick in our rotation, once again, approaching Rutledge Falls. A little bit contaminated there as well, obviously, though. Again, look at that inflow, dude. Again, inflow going into the storm there, creating that little hook shape. That voice crack was personal, huh? What's up, Indiana Hamilton? How's it going? Again, thank you guys for all the support of this stream, especially in terms of, like, donations. It's been crazy. Again, massive shout-outs to Alan, William, and Tan for the $20 donos. That is crazy support. Again, that is awesome. So thank you very much. I never want to take that kind of stuff for granted. I never want to get to the point where, you know, I get a $50 dono and I'm just like, oh, thanks. From the bottom of my heart, I want to make sure that you guys know that I really do appreciate that. We do have a new special weather statement for gusts up to 40 miles an hour for Village at Indian Rock Lake. This is for the part of our line of storms here that may have some elevated winds due to the fact that it is just on the edge of the line of storms, which usually does typically have a few more gusts that may get into the higher levels there. So. I pay the Google Beast $15 a month to suppress ads because I especially hate them popping up on a live stream. Yeah, I've got YouTube Premium because I got I had an option for a discount, so I went ahead and bought a month, and I think I'm getting another month here. So for me, it was worth it, but I understand some people don't want to pay just that they don't have ads. So I definitely don't want to just shove 1,000 ads in people's faces. The ruler was upside down. That is crazy. The ruler was upside down. That is crazy. You're good. You know I'm going to hold that over your head, though. 2.3 inches. Well, I was a little curious how you got from an inch to 3.7 in like 30 minutes. But, what's up, weather over ground? That's funny, though. Want to see our next velocity scan here on our rotation just over the Lake Hills area. That's going to be near Belmont and Rutledge Falls at the next scan, most likely. And for everybody that's going out there and measuring snow, I love whenever people do it. I'm like, they'll like measure it on like a table or something that's sitting outside. Snow accumulates differently on every single kind of surface. If you want to get the most accurate measurement, try to find a flat spot in the grass. If you can't do it on the concrete, again, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's still going to be somewhat accurate. That is where you're going to find the most accurate snow totals. If you stick it on like a table that's been sitting outside or like something like that, it's going to be completely skewed off of reality from how much snow you actually ended up receiving. And again, an event like this, it's not like it's going to take forever for it to melt. I mean, by the next day, a lot of it's going to be gone, so just be careful. I love how this looks like a crazy debris signature. I love whenever contamination does silly stuff like that. Now, whenever it gets scary, where it's like, you know, is that a debris signature or not, that's not nearly as fun, but I need to get myself a snowboard to measure snow. By the way, guys, if you didn't see yesterday's video, check it out. It's very weird. That's all I'll say, but a lot of you guys really seem to like that video, so I appreciate all the support. That is by far my best performing video as of recent, so I greatly appreciate that, especially since I've been feeling that burnout. Again, combined with some other issues that I've been having recently. It's been a little rough, but we're pushing through. So I appreciate that in times like this. Gonna have to measure snow tomorrow. Again, our battle zone of precipitation here, kind of right starting to enter the New York City metro area. Again, right now it's mostly snow in New York City, but pretty soon we're going to see some ice start to mix in there. In fact, if we look from southern New Jersey, it's kind of a mix between rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow, all that nasty stuff. Again, a lot of it's over the Mid-Atlantic region right now, but that will slowly but surely lift off to the northeast there, so be careful. Stay safe. Again, driving conditions are going to be really rough for any areas that get even a little bit of ice accumulation. Bro, what? How is the Alabama radar showing this as mixed precipitation in 65-degree weather? That is crazy work. Excuse me? I'm sorry, can somebody explain that one to me? It's been showing mixed precipitation all day as well. Is it a glitch on my end? Somebody check the Northeast Alabama radar. What? Seeing mixed precipitation in 70-degree weather is crazy work. Alabama radar. That is insane. That is an error that you don't see too often, and that is hilarious. It's like the weirdest stream we've ever done. Well, it's not 2024, Sam, so... Oh, you're just talking about, like, the craziness. Is 2024 like? We may have a little bit of rotation trying to tighten up near the Irving College area. Again, in Tennessee. Has to be a glitch in the matrix. Might be the absence radar. Omega does have weird bugs. Let's not do 250 frames, but let's just play this radar and loop for a little while. No, gosh dang it. Load. Why? Oh wait, it was doing it right. Never mind. I have like the worst posture of all time. Alrighty. Give me just a second here. Sorry, I'm checking up on something. Okay. Looks like, again, no real major change in a lot of our rotations. It looks like most of them are getting gradually weaker. A little bit more broad. A little bit more interested in our area near Stepsville now. Again, the one over Irving College. Again, it's not like a little supercell embedded in the line. It is just a little kink in the line there. But, interesting. Yeah, I think part of that, Kevin, is just because a lot of new radar apps and websites are coming out that are doing similar things as Radar Omega. I think Radar Omega, if it wants to stay, king of the radar apps, it kind of has to start introducing some new features. The reason that it's been on top of the radar weather community for so long is because there are just things that no other radar app that you can get on your phone will let you do for that cheap. But now we've got apps coming out for free that have a lot of the same features that Radar Omega already does, Weatherwise being one of them. Obviously, Weatherwise has nowhere near as many extra cool features as Radar Omega, but it has the same, base, what you need. So I think if Radar Omega wants to stay on top, it's got to maybe get some more chasers involved with the cyclone port network, maybe get more cyclone ports in general. I think that would be an easy route to go through, but also just getting, something new. It needs something new, And it's not that Radar Omega is bad or that it's, behind in the competition or anything like that. It is still one of the most advanced radar apps available. The problem is it used to be the most advanced weather app available for this price on your phone. But now it's one of the, which is not a position that Radar Omega has been in a lot recently. But over the past few months, it is starting to maybe lose a little bit of popularity. I spy weather was. I would use Radar Omega. I'm just broke. Real. I feel that. I mean, obviously, I was heavily influenced by a lot of the folks that I grew up watching on Radar. All of them used Radar Omega, so naturally, this was the first weather-related app that I ever downloaded. And don't think I've ever really had that many problems with it. I mean, sure, it has the occasional glitch, and, this is stupid, but, I mean, every Radar app has its problems, so. If you're new to the stream, make sure to like and subscribe. We are now only 21 subscribers away from hitting 3,300. We do severe weather coverage, winter storm coverage, and hurricane coverage every day of the year when it's necessary for every area across the United States. We do it for hours and hours on end. Even sometimes whenever nobody else is live, we have been live for some of the bigger tornado events. So, and make sure to click that subscribe button with notifications on so that you can get accurate and up-to-date information on weather in your area. We did just get a new special weather statement for the south side of Tullahoma for a part of our line here that has some slightly elevated wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Little kink in the line there. By the way, Davis's Games, my second channel. I know we haven't had a lot of long-form videos on that channel recently, but I'm trying to grow it a little bit by doing some shorts and stuff like that, so make sure to go subscribe to that if you've not already. A lot of those shorts have been doing fantastic. They've been getting an average about 500 views, except for the one I posted a couple days ago. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how that channel's been performing, so thank you very much for that. You're an app developer. That's pretty cool. I'm not smart enough to do stuff like that. I wish I was. Again, I was proud of myself just for making a Radar or a OBS layout that looked this cool, so I definitely would not be able to develop an app. Yeah, Levi does have GR2. I just don't think it's worth it considering what I already have in my possession, in my opinion. But again, obviously, people will have their preferences and stuff, so. Yeah, I was pretty hyped. I think Shellos, especially the West Coast, has one of the cooler shinies in the game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Trying to think if there's anything else that we need to say before we kind of wrap things up here, or at least start to wrap things up. What's up, Matthew? How's it going? But I don't really think there is. Again, a lot of these rotations are slowly but surely dying out. Again, they were never that impressive to begin with, so. Random shiny lappers outside your work. Yeah, I always find them in the most random areas. It's always like either on the bus or at school or in an Aldi's parking lot, in the case of my shiny Gyarados. Attic radar. Yeah, whenever I'm in a pinch and I don't have my phone, I'm not going to lie to you. Attic radar is not the worst thing in the world. Comes in pretty handy. Especially during Hurricane Milton's tornado outbreak. I would have had no idea what was going on. Because I didn't have a phone at that time. I only had my school Chromebook. Obviously, social media and everything like that was blocked. So, very, very glad that I knew about attic radar. Otherwise, I would not have known that there was a day-long PDS tornado outbreak until the second I got home. I still can't believe, like, that day, I was grinding that day. I mean, you guys know that I try to put a lot of effort into every stream that we do, and I think we do a pretty good job, but that Milton outbreak stream was something else. The reason being is because I had a 100-degree fever. I'm pretty sure I had the flu. What else? I remember I had a very bad sore throat. I was coughing up a storm. I was having to grab tissues every 2 seconds, and yet we stayed live for, I believe, 3 to 4 hours throughout the entirety of that day. I think it's actually longer than that if you're counting both streams, because I think we did 2. I could be mistaken. Maybe we only did 1 now that I think about it, but that was insane. I mean, that is just, like, I don't know. I just grinded through it, I guess. Yeah, 3 hours that day. Or, sorry, 2 hours that day. It's crazy. Mind you, that was just after the Helene, what am I saying? That was just after Helene as well, so, I was already pretty pooped, but that's why we grinded through it, you know? I'm doing good, Patty, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, though. Interesting noises with Davis. Alrighty. Well, I think we've said everything that we need to say this stream. Again, just be prepared for hazardous travel conditions tomorrow morning through sections of southern New England. As well as northern New England, it's just going to be in a different way. Snow is slightly less dangerous than freezing rain, but still definitely make sure that you're staying safe out there. Again, we will be back live tonight, I guess, if anything crazy does happen for whatever reason, but it's not really a possibility at this point. So, I want to thank you all for tuning in. But yeah. Feel better, Bethany? I guess that's all I have to say. So again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace. That was the weirdest outro I've ever done.